Hello, Tom.
Hello, Dana.
You look very handsomely trimmed.
Really? Why would you say such a thing? Well, the mustache is gone.
Well,
And
oh, I didn't even notice the mustache was gone. I just
so,
like the short cut hair.
the mustache, the chin hair, the underlip hair,
Yeah, you look like 13 months younger.
I need all the help I can get.
So thanks again for joining us, Tom and loyal listeners to Two Guys Talking Toys.
That's what we are. And this week we're talking about ToyCon.
Yes, in Jersey. It was great. Going in was great. Coming back, not so great because we
Not
hit
so
traffic
much.
at the
But
GW.
Yes, but I don't blame ToyCon for that. I guess it's not there.
No.
Presumably, not everyone on the George Washington Bridge was coming from or going to ToyCon.
So yeah, you and I traveled over to Jersey.
To Parsippany, Jersey.
Yes. Is it
Or
Parsippany or Parsippany?
Might be Parsippany.
I think it's Parsippany. Anyway, seemed like a lovely town, despite that you can't make left turns anywhere. But we had a great time. We loaded up the Jeep with Jared and Tyler. And
those are what my nephew, your son.
Yes.
Respectively.
Fabulous young men who slept and didn't speak most of the trip. So,
They are the encapsulation of a teen.
yes, but we were still grateful to have them. They had a good time, as did we. So takeaways, man. What? Oh, the exclusive, the show exclusive you picked up. We got the Battletoads.
Yeah, let's start with the exclusive. So the exclusive for ToyCon is, as people may or may not know, was put out there by Premium DNA. So for anyone that doesn't know, quick background on Premium DNA / Megalopolis. Premium DNA is Megalopolis. It's what I found out after doing a little bit of research. Megalopolis does not have a very good reputation. They were an online toy store. I guess they wound up taking too many pre-orders or had a bad business structure. Insert whatever reasoning you may have, but at the end of the day, they wound up screwing a lot of people out of a lot of money. I was fortunate in that the products that I ordered from them when they were still around, I actually did get, but a lot of people did not. So them kind of reskinning themselves as Premium DNA and putting stuff out there, I get why anyone would be skeptical, why people who were kind of burned by them in the past wouldn't want anything to do with any of the products that they're currently putting out there. Honestly, I kind of wish that they would take some steps towards getting things right and putting things right, and maybe offering people their money back or sending them some product or something like that, because what they did to people, not okay. So if you saw this exclusive and said to yourself, there's no way in heck that I'm going to give these people any of my money, I'm boycotting them, I don't want anything to do with it, I don't blame you one bit. But then the Mad Balls was released. From what I've heard, what I've read, I don't know any of them myself, but I've seen positive reviews. Barnyard Commandos has been released. Those have also gotten really positive reviews. And now, most recently, I gotten an advertisement, an email for Battletoads, like the first wave, which includes 2 of the Battletoads. I think three of the villains.
The villains are huge. Like what 16, 18 inches?
I wish I could remember the names offhand. I'm woefully undereducated on Battletoad character names. There's a giant rat character.
But the frogs are named after, like, dermatological issues, pimples and zits.
Yeah, it's like wart zit. I think wart zit and rash.
Yeah.
There's a cool looking like bone rat character
bone
that's
rat.
being offered.
It's very cool, and I like how they worked around it being a skeletal character. It's very cool.
And there's like the gigantic. Huge,
and
I don't remember what his name is.
They're up for pre-order all over and on Big Bad.
So those are off. Those are up for pre-order. But ToyCon got the release of the very first actual figure. Like, I know these are coming out. So this one was of Zitz, and it came in a really cool looking. This together. So it comes in an homage to the original NES cartridge holder.
Yeah, I was so happy to see that. It was great.
That was really awesome, and It slides right out. It's
Yeah,
got
it
the
looks just like the big cartridge. It was
yeah.
fantastic.
This was a really cool exclusive. On the back of the box, it's got advertisements for the other figures in the line. So in case you
all the names, which you could
yes
read off there.
I sure could, but I won't because I'm going to show you the figure on the inside. So this and we get the first version of Zitz. And I hadn't noticed until you brought it up that the one of the variations is that the face sculpt on this is different. The original one, I guess, the one that's going to come out is going to have like a full
teeth,
a full face,
like
full brow grin,
full grin. Yeah, yeah.
Anger. This one does not.
And I can show you the figure out of the box.
Yeah, please do.
It's so great, and it's got heft. Like you could kill Colonel Mustard in the kitchen with this figure. It's great. I love, and his articulation. Like I mean, this has some real heft to it, and you know, he's well articulated. He's well painted. He's well put together. I was happy to buy this. I really was, and for $40, $40 for the show exclusive.
How does he look? I haven't had a chance to pop mine open because I've been running around and sleeping. Just one of the two at any given point in time.
Yeah.
How does he look? Have you had a chance to put him with other figures? Because I'm curious as to like what aesthetic he looks better with. If it's like action figure aesthetic or like cartoon.
He looks good with
oh, that's
with
nice.
Usagi. Yeah, he goes
pretty good
with the NECA turtle guys. Like he goes very well. Like this is a cool aesthetic having these guys because they both have that cool animated matte look. Like it's great. They're just very well done. I wouldn't be surprised if they were mindful of making them reminiscent of the Turtles stuff. Yeah. But it's fantastic. I love it.
Okay, good. I've been wondering about that. Yeah, the design looks very like they knew these should fit in with the other action figure lines. Because I've been trying to figure out whether or not I should put these with the Super 7 figures, which are so much more toyetic, or with the NECA ones that look a bit more like the show. I think
anyone that has that sort of animated his articulation and his weight didn't work. Like that kind of animated look.
That's a crossover we need to see. Battletoads meets Cobra.
Right. I think that would be fantastic. But I think any of those animated looks, but certainly the Ninja Turtles. Like I think he looks best with Usagi there.
Yeah. So I was very impressed when we got there. So this was the show exclusive for this year when we first walked in, and you could buy that. But they also still had exclusives from last year. So there was the clear purple Plunderling that they had. It looks like they had a few more of those on hand. They also had, and I forgot that when we went to ToyCon in November, that the Four Horsemen had. They also had a booth set up there with like some extra figures, and so they also had the exclusives from Legion's Con.
Yeah, and the Stardust guys were there again with this.
Yes.
This exclusive. And the interesting thing is we went in thinking we would possibly get some sort of story, because anyone who bought this first line and got the exclusives and the others may have pre-ordered some of the more alien looking guys on various sites, but they were on Big Bad. And then I got notification. I told you that those figures were no longer happening. And we were hoping,
that's too bad.
We were hoping to see these guys and get the scoop and see if we were going to be able to get those guys, but we didn't. But they were still selling that exclusive.
Yeah, no such luck, which is kind of too bad. I would like to know what wound up happening.
This guy's pretty cool.
I wonder if and again, like we talked about this before, but looking at Big Bad Toy Store's listing for it, I know that they had it was like a minimum pre-order number on it. So I wonder if those numbers weren't hit, or if hopefully not, if there was some sort of issue with the factory, because I know that some companies, or some of the smaller companies that are going through, I don't think they went through Kickstarter, but I know some companies that have kind of tried to get stuff done through Kickstarter and then gotten in touch with a factory overseas. Sometimes they're not the best people, and you run into issues where either they just don't provide the product, or they just take your money and run, or they string you along and then they just kind of disappear. The Four Horsemen even went through this. There was a factory that they had been working with consistently for a couple of different ways for like fantastic exclusives. And I'm trying to think of I believe there was the wave of Minotaurs, and I could be mistaken. And if I am, again, please, someone feel free to correct me. I believe it was the wave of Minotaurs that they had done, and the factory that they were working with just took off. Ceased communication, no contact, and I believe when someone that they were affiliated with in China went to find out what was happening, they were just gone. Took all their stuff, no molds left, nothing else. Like it was a
wow,
really, really sad thing. So like you just never know what might
well,
be
you
going
never
on
know.
over
They could
there.
have been, I mean, all kinds of things happen over there between, child labor and everything else. I mean, you never know. You never know.
So that is unfortunate. So
yeah, but
so moving on.
Yeah, show was good. What did you think about the overall ambiance of the show, the people there, the vendors, the selection of stuff?
I enjoyed it, and I'll put it out there for anyone that's attending a convention of pretty much any kind. Early admission, if you can do it, absolutely do it.
Right.
It's worth, like in this case, regular general admission was about $20. Early admission was 25. Worth the extra $5 to
absolutely
have access to those. And it's just because, I mean, and I guess maybe it depends on the kind of person you are, but I don't think anyone likes being in a super crowded environment. And I know that the nature of these kind of shows is to have that, like it's unavoidable, but it's not so much when you get in early. You have more time you can look around, you can browse a little bit more. The vendors aren't now overwhelmed with customers, so you may have more of a minute to chat with them or talk about whatever, and sometimes maybe get a better deal out of that.
Absolutely.
But being able to get in and wander around and get like a quick, you always want to do that first sweep of everything, and maybe something really jumps out at you that you want to snag like immediately. But it's really nice to be able to do that initial run through, and not
especially if there's an exclusive that you're interested in.
Yeah,
because they have limited numbers. I agree. It was great, and you and I are not. We're both not people who like to be in large crowds, but but I'm glad to see them though come to the show. Like I'm glad that they're successful, and I feel like this time, because we went to the show in November, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't as crowded. It wasn't.
No.
And they had, so this time they were into the hallways, like that whole NECA section in the hallway. And then they had that other room open specifically designed for Hot Wheels and Matchbox and other things, which was cool to see. So they branched out to there, and then they moved into the there were two rooms last time, but the second room, I'll say, was a different one, and it was bigger. They had more vendor space back there, so it was growing not only in numbers of attendees, but in actual floor space. The show has grown since November, which is great.
Yeah, I think as we march further and further away from the pandemic, and people become more and more comfortable kind of gathering, it's nice to see that they're able to expand this a little bit more to accommodate that. Like this year, like you said, like they were in the hallways. They had arcade games available for people to sit down and play, and I believe they were free play.
Yeah, they were.
That kind of thing is awesome, because it's something to do. It's something to pass the time. It's good for the kids. And there were some really cool old school games that they had on there.
Yeah.
I remember.
I bet we could have played Battletoads.
Oh, see, that would have been smart if they had Battletoads or Battletoads and Double Dragon.
Right.
They had like all these old school games like Puzzle Fighter, which I never thought I would see in the actual arcade format forever. So that was really cool to see that, like something for like the kids or like adults that just hadn't had a chance to play that in forever.
Getting in early, I had a really good experience talking to all the vendors, even though I was insulted by one who said my love for Warriors of Virtue movie and action figures was ridiculous. But I do, and then he turned around and told me Battle Trolls was his favorite toy line. And I was like, dude.
Well, he just thought you were messing with him. And he's like, I'm onto your game. Guess what my favorite toy line is?
No. He was saying his goal was to get them all again on card. I was like, why, man? They're Battle Trolls. You're going to mock Warriors of Virtue? Like Zen loving kangaroos against. Battle trolls, come on.
Hey man, you look. They didn't have the jewel. You had to rub the jewel to get the power.
Right.
So what were you looking for? Do you have anything in mind? Were you looking for anything in particular when we got there, or were you just looking for
I
deals in
wasn't
general?
looking for deals in general, and I'll tell you, as a bin badger, um, there were a lot, and everybody
Yeah.
and we discussed this. The prices that were being offered at this show were really reasonable. Like we
Hmm.
found some pretty good deals. That the giant Jurassic Park dinosaurs, Indominus Rex, and the
Hmm.
Carnotaur, I got those for $30 a pop.
That's a really good find. That was one of the things that I really enjoyed. Like
Hmm.
this was almost like the flea market that you expect to find. Like it's what you hope conventions are, really. And I know it
Yeah.
may sound like kind of silly, but like if I go into a store or even I go to like some other conventions and I start looking at prices, and you kind of roll your eyes and you're like, really? You really think it's worth that? And certainly there are some examples of that. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but that's kind of like the guy that wanted, what was it, like $80 for Khonshu. But
Yeah. I talked him down to 80 and then didn't buy it.
and then on the flip side of that, behind me is a chunk of my haul from ToyCon, where I picked up the entire Oddly, because there's a seller there
Yeah.
who had everyone listed for $22 flat, and I double checked to see if there was going to be like tax or whatever, and I guess there was going to be tax if I were to use a credit card, which I still think is nonsense. But to get those for 22 each, when they're at retail, you're going to pay 25 to 26, and I don't really feel like playing the clearance chicken with those. Good get.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
that's a great find. We had a couple of them like that. Figma Link from Legends of Zelda. I got the
mhm,
Figma one, and the guy was asking $100,
mhm,
and I talked to him a little bit, and he brought it down to 90,
mhm.
and that was cool. He brought it down,
Yeah,
and then he went down again. He went down again. So that was a good deal,
mhm,
and there were like random figures that I picked up, all loose
mhm.
vintage stuff, like some of those
Yeah.
old knockoff wrestlers and the Beetlejuice figures. Like, but everybody wanted to talk and hang out.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was cool. Like, and when you picked up a figure, you have an actual conversation about why you wanted it and what the figure was. It was great.
Mhm.
It was just a great ambiance. I enjoyed it so much.
And I just want to put out there for anyone that may already be going to conventions, or maybe you haven't gone, you're thinking about it. An interesting thing that I hadn't really thought about until someone on another toy podcast, toy tuber, I believe the correct term is, from
Weird.
a show called Toy Anxiety. One of the gentlemen that works on that named Craig talked about going to a convention, and as he's going through, people are looking at his shirt, like whatever his graphic tee was, and
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, you like whatever? I got this over here." And I laughed at that because I thought it was funny. But at this convention, I was wearing a different Godzilla graphic tee, and as I was walking through, I hear people like, "Hey, you like kaiju? I got kaiju over here. Hey, you like Godzilla? I got some stuff over here." And I was like,
Again,
"That's
I'm
actually
picturing
kind
the
of
guy
funny."
with the coat.
Hey, you like what do you
I got you
you
some
like kaiju?
kaiju.
You like kaiju? They're pretty good. They're pretty neat. You like that Pacific rims? I got some. They spin. Like
Spinners.
I'm not into those kind of rims, but it was just kind of funny, and I was like, oh my god, that's true. So if you're looking for a specific thing, wear a graphic T-shirt of that thing, and
Yeah,
people will actively try to get your
it's
attention.
true. I
So
had a Ninja Turtle shirt on under a hoodie. Like I had it half
mhm,
zip, the white
mhm,
hoodie I'm always wearing.
uh-huh.
And yeah, and the guy he put it out and he's like, I got Ninja Turtle stuff. He didn't sound like he was hawking hot dogs at a baseball game. But
Get your turtles here. So this means that the next time I go to a convention that where we're going to be experiencing toy sellers, I have to make sure I put a big, nice, clear picture of King Hiss from the Attack Pack.
right. I'm gonna
I'll
wear a
be,
picture of French fries.
Get your and you'll be hounded by every Wendy's.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'll actively try and like walk up to people and show it off, and they'll be like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
No, like it's from the Attack Pack. It was a line in the 1990s. Never
right.
mind.
They're like attack like they'll give you a like pudding. Like a
Here
snack
you go.
pack.
You mean a snack pack? I don't have any Hiss flavored, but Here's
Or
some.
they'll throw it at you, and then it'll be an attack pack.
That'd be my luck. So,
Yeah.
so what?
So what else? What are some of the other finds that you got aside from the Battletoad and the what else? Did you pick anything else up?
I picked up. So I had such a great time that I accidentally forgot my jacket in your Jeep. So
Yes.
inside
And
that,
once again today.
I did. I forgot it again.
And I have the figure in there for you, both of which are still in there.
Yeah, so you stole my reveal. In that jacket is one of my finds, which was it was the
Oh, I
orange.
wasn't even talking about that. I was talking about the figure I picked up from you from Target.
Oh, another thing. This is turning into a good weekend. So hidden in my jacket is not only did I find an extra arm that I needed to get one step closer to completing Vision Ultron. There was also it was a purple and orange version of Iron Man that came with like it was part of like a 3-pack, I believe. It was no, it was a 2-pack that came out years ago where it was just him in that funky colored armor, and I think either War Machine or another Iron Man. And I wanted it, but I didn't want to pay for 2 of them. And then when they first came out, they were, it was an inflated price for a 2-pack, and I always kept an eye out for them, but never actually found them until this convention where someone was selling them for, I think it was like $10.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the prices were great.
Yeah, not bad at all. I also picked up the Max, which I was not expecting to find.
That. Oh gosh, you got to show that.
I was not expecting to find the Max here. Here you. So I forgot offhand if this version of Max is from the. I don't think he's from the Legendary Heroes line. There was another line that came out after that had a few other kind. I think it may have had it may have had Scud. It may have had Dead Man. I don't 100% remember offhand, but this is not something that I was seeking out. It was just on a table. He was, I think, $40. It comes with an alternate head. It comes like this has the regular Max head with the weird teeth. There's another head that comes with him that has.
I think he and Venom go to the same orthodontist.
He files his down so they're a nice smooth edge. But he also has the like the Jungle King style where he's got the extra hair and whatnot on him. It comes with another smaller critter. It's not an it's something else from the show. But this is actually really cool, and I have the original. I have the original McFarlane version of him, which is also one of the best figures he's ever made.
Yeah, it is really fantastic.
Was not expecting to see want to buy or actually buy this. This is a pleasant surprise. And this is what I like about going to conventions, like being wandering around, not really having anything in particular in mind that you're looking for, and then stumbling across something pretty cool and saying, "Oh, this is neat." And on top of it, having a seller, because the seller was actually a really kind of fun guy. We were just chatting back and forth about what it was, and then he had some other stuff. He had some Kamen Rider stuff, and then we were both lamenting how it's such a shame that Kamen Rider they've never found a way to properly bring it over here when it's such a great series of shows.
Oh, and all those shows just felt like they were trying to hang on the coattails of the Power Rangers and it didn't work. We, for the first time, we had 2 guys talking toys interview at the convention.
Yes.
Not so much an interview because we didn't ask a lot of questions, but
it was good to let him talk.
Yeah. Brian Fox, a really nice young guy, doing some cool things, don't you think?
Yes. This would be Brian Fox from Fox Toy Box on Instagram.
It's a fun name. Fox Toy Box is great.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's meant for advertising.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. So he has
a dirty limerick, one or the other.
That too. So he has an Instagram account. He creates 3D model and printed heads for like custom 112 heads for the 112 size action figures. He had a bunch of stuff on display at his table. He was working in conjunction with Go Figure Go, who makes these like really cool looking dioramas and accessories also for 112 scale figures. I don't know if he's willing to go outside of that. It looks like he's just kind of he's been doing it for a little while, but so he's still kind of starting out.
Mhm.
But I recommend, like, I took a look at their Instagram pages today, and they're seeing their stuff online and getting a chance to see it live. Like, it was some really cool stuff. So yeah, so
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
so we have an interview with them, and he talks about what his stuff is, what maybe some of his inspirations were, and what he's doing. So I will post up a little bit later on in the week, and hope that everyone will check that out.
Yeah, you should. He's a really great guy. And he and I started talking. I was looking at some of his stuff, especially like he had this Aquanaut guy with like the old brass looking head. And I said it looked like one of the Scooby-Doo guys. Like he should do a version of that looks like Scooby-Doo. And we started talking, and I said, wouldn't it be great for a talented customizer guy to do the Scooby-Doo guys, the villains, which we all know you can get those figures now from a variety of companies, but nobody has ever done them with a horror twist, like making them look creepy and doing like a horror twist on the Scooby-Doo villains. And he was excited about that, and we were talking about that, and that's how we started talking. And I said I would really love to feature you on a podcast. So, and what a great guy! What a great guy!
Yeah, nice, personable. If where we'd ever be at a convention, that would be what you would have to do, because I would not be able to do.
And he said he's going to be at the Legion Con, right?
Yes, and that should be interesting, because for Horsemen we're also at ToyCon this year, and I don't recall offhand if they advertised that beforehand.
No, because last year they were a big sponsor. They were a big.
Yes,
it was a big draw.
Yeah, I mean, and they are, if I remember correctly, they're located in Jersey anyway, so it makes sense for them to grab some stuff and bring it there.
You last year picked up a bunch of the vampire line that you wanted and left the one character you really wanted.
I was super excited to get the whole Delia line. I stared at her in the line. I picked out, as I was going through, I was picking out a bunch of the different figures, and the gentleman who was helping me was like, "I'm sensing a theme here." I was like, "Yes, every one of these I want." And I remember being excited to get her, and I must have forgotten to put her in the pile. Didn't realize it, because it's all vampire stuff. Got home and was like, where did I put her? Maybe she's in a different bag. Clearly, I left her in Dana's Jeep.
Right.
That was not the case.
Obviously the swirling vortex of chaos that sucks everything in.
That was were I to have to pick just one figure out of that line, it would have been her. And I forgot. But thankfully, we also went to Legion's Con, where I was able to pick her up. But it was cool that they were there, and perhaps at some point get an interview with them to talk about like what they're doing or what their plans are. They had samples of their upcoming
the space creature stuff.
Yes. They had the four-armed character who looked really cool. They had the one
paint job on that is amazing.
Yes, it makes me sad that I wasn't able to pre-order it, but I will probably, and by probably I mean definitely, be getting it from Big Bad. or if they have any available at Legion's Con, come say like November, I'll be getting them there.
Yeah, they should. I would imagine because I overheard them say that they should have the two that were sitting there were actually the production models. It was the first that they got. And then they had the other ones that was still prototypes. So they got those two funky looking cool alien guys, the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Those were production models, and they should have the whole line in warehouse in the next 2 weeks, I heard. So they should be coming available soon.
Nice. So, all right. So we're nearing the end of our time here. So final thoughts. What did you think of ToyCon New Jersey?
I loved it. This is the second time in a row we've gone. Like I said, it were great people. It started to get a little crowded, which is good to see, but that's when we sort of exited.
Yeah.
All of the vendors that I stopped at were very friendly, very talkative, and not friendly in a sales like way. Like they were interested, and we had actual conversations about the things that I liked. Pardon me. I know that you took a lot of great pictures, so we're going to have those.
Yes.
And then the interview with Brian was a lot of fun and great. He's a great guy. And he's talented. Like that TV head that you'll see, like this TV head is amazing. So please check out the demonstration video, because it's genius. Genius. And then his buddies, dioramas were cool. So Go check it out.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, do it. A lot of talented young people out there doing cool things, and they need support of collectors like us. What are your final thoughts on the show, Tom, aside from you made it better just by being there?
Oh, true friendship. Don't make me cry on the show. I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. It was entertaining to me. It was entertaining for my nephew. Bring your kids. Go to the next one. They're having another one in November. It's like I said, it's fun for them. It was fun for us. I also kind of what you said. It was nice to be able to go through a convention, look at items that are nice, that are well priced, be engaged by people who genuinely seem happy to be there. Not a lot of, you get some grouchy people, but I didn't see a whole lot of them. A lot of people were very, very good about like engaging and sharing stories and talking about like what their favorite stuff is. So that is going to be it for this week. Thank you for joining myself and Dana on another episode of Two Guys Talking Toys. This is the ToyCon New Jersey edition. I hope that everyone that went had a good time. It was Saturday and Sunday. They're going to be having another one in November that hopefully you can attend. Dana and I will be there. If you enjoyed the show, if you like the show, please give us a like. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to get a hold of us on Twitter, our handle is Two Guys Talking Toys. That is the number 2. No G after the Talkin. If you'd like to get a hold of us on Gmail, same thing. Two Guys Talking Toys. That's the number 2. No G after the Talkin. But thanks again for watching. Thank you very much for listening, and take care, everybody.